right, here we go again. Now, this video is not going to be too long. There's three sections there, 306, 307, 308, that are pretty technical. And for me to go over the whole things, I think will just be a waste of your time. And so I'm just going to hit up the high points so you can get an idea what's in them. If you want to look at them, that's fine. You can, obviously, you can do that. You ought to read them. But your eyes will probably glass over after doing that for a little bit. So this is it, 306A. I'm going to hit the A because that's usually one to tell you what it's about. Electric science and outline lighting. That's for like neon signs and stuff like that, outline lighting. Cranes and hoists. This paragraph applies to the installation of electrical equipment and wiring used in connection with cranes, monorail hoists, and all runways. All right, good stuff, I'm sure, but unless you're going to wire up a crane or hoist, probably not real appropriate to your career. Elevators, dumbwaiters, escalators, moving walks, wheelchair lifts, and stairway chair lifts. And that's the requirements for those. Again, unless you're in that field, it's probably not going to be something you're ever going to use. Electric welders, disconnecting mains, information technology equipment, X-ray equipment. So X-ray, there's a special paragraph for X-ray equipment, induction and dielectric heating equipment, and accessories for industrial and scientific applications, but not for medical and dental applications or for appliances. Okay? That's GH. Electrolytic cells. This paragraph applies to the installation of the electrical components and accessory equipment of electrolytic cells, electrolytic cell lines, and process power supply for the production of aluminum, cadmium, chlorine, copper, fluorine, hydrogen peroxide, magnesium, sodium chlorate, and zinc. So unless you're into all that stuff there, you probably don't need to read this paragraph. Electrically driven or controlled irrigation machines. Something you might want to look into if you've got a ranch. Swimming pools, fountains, and similar installations. This paragraph applies to electric wiring for and equipment in or adjacent to all swimming, wading, therapeutic, and decorative pools and fountains, hydro massage bathtubs, etc. We had a swimming pool installed, I don't know, 12 years ago or so. It's not a swimming pool anymore. It's a garden. And they put in an electric outlet there because there was a light in there and had a GFCI on it. So, like they were supposed to. So they did it right, I guess. Carnivals, circuses, fairs, and similar events. Now, you might think where you work sometimes might fall into one of these things, but probably not. This paragraph covers the installation of all portable wiring and equipment and for the carnival, circus, exhibition fairs, traveling attractions. Again, you might be interested in it, but I don't think it's going to apply to somebody in general industry too much. Those are just the main headings of 1910.306. Now we're going to look at 307. And this is hazardous classified locations, not classified like secret or top secret, but this is the classification of hazardous locations. This section covers the requirements for electric equipment and wiring in locations that are classified depending on the properties of the flammable vapors, liquids or gases, or combustible dust or fibers that may be present therein, and the likelihood that a flammable or a combustible concentration or quantity is present. Hazardous classified locations may be found in occupancy such as, but not limited to, the following: aircraft hangars, gasoline dispensing and service stations, bulk storage plants for gasoline or other volatile flammable liquids, paint finishing process plants, healthcare facilities, agriculture or other facilities where excessive combustible dust may be present, marinas, boatyards, and petroleum and chemical processing plants. Each room, section, or area shall be considered individually in determining its classification. So that's what this one's all about. So documentation, all areas designated as hazardous classified locations under the class and zone system and areas designated under the class and division system established after August 13, 2007 shall be properly documented. This documentation shall be available to those authorized to design, install, inspect, maintain, or operate electric equipment at the location. C, electrical installations, equipment, wiring methods, and installations of equipment in hazardous classified locations shall be intrinsically safe, approved for the hazardous classified location, or safe for the hazardous classified location. And then they give you the requirements for those. I don't know why they just don't tell you that they're going to call it one thing instead of saying hazardous classified throughout. Conduits, all conduits shall be threaded and shall be made wrench tight. That where it is impractical to make a threaded joint tight, a bonding jumper shall be utilized. Bonding, and this is this out of 399. Bonding is the permanent joining of metallic parts to form an electrically conductive path that ensures electric continuity and the capacity to conduct safely any current likely to be imposed. A bonding jumper is a conductor that assures the necessary electrical conductivity between metal parts required to be electrically connected. So, bonding is. Equipment in Division 2 locations. Equipment that has been approved for a Division 1 location may be installed in a Division 2 location of the same class and group. Okay, we don't know what they are yet, so that. Well, we're not going to cover all these details. Protection techniques. The following are acceptable protection techniques for electronic equipment and hazardous classified locations. There we go again. G, and there's your class 1, zone 0, 1, and 2 locations. And those are the major headings for 1910 by 307. 308 is special systems. You thought that was pretty much what was in the last one. Huh? It's classified systems. They were hazardous classified systems. These are special systems. Systems over 600 volts nominal. This paragraph covers the general requirements for all circuits and equipment operated over 600 volts. You're going to see, I don't think you're going to come in contact with that very often as your career as a safety professional, because most plant wiring is 277, 220. Now, you could be, but chances are, again, if you're working with something at 600 volts, you're probably going to be an electrician, trained electrician, journeyman. Wiring methods. Emergency circuit wiring shall be kept entirely independent of all other wiring and equipment and may not enter the same raceway, cable, box, or cabinet, or other wiring except either where common circuit elements suitable for the purpose are required, or for transferring power from the normal to the emergency source. So that's some. C gives you some classes, signaling and power limited circuits. D is fire alarm systems. E is communication system. This paragraph applies to central station connected and non-central station connected telephone circuits. Now, why don't they just say all telephone circuits? Radio and television receiving and transmitting equipment, including community antenna television and radio distribution systems, telegraph, district messenger, and outside wiring for fire and burglar alarm, and similar central station systems. These installations need not comply with the provisions of 303 through 308, except for these. And that's when it gets really fun, when they start doing that. I don't know what district messenger is. Solar photovoltaic systems. This paragraph covers solar photovoltaic systems that can be interactive with other electric power production sources or can stand alone with or without electrical energy storage, such as batteries. These systems may have EC or DC output for utilization. G, integrated electrical systems. The scope of this paragraph, G of this section, covers integrated electrical systems other than unit equipment, in which orderly shutdown is necessary to ensure safe operation. An integrated electrical system as used in this section shall be a unitized segment of an industrial wiring system where all the following conditions are met. And we're not going to go over this. Those are the main headings in 308 and the end of this thing. So I think that there's just not going to be a good use of time to handle those, to go over all those. So we didn't, but we are going to go over some other stuff in subpart S and a few more of them. All right. So in the meantime, hang in there and be safe.